Turning now to our business page, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas reports a less than 1% inflation rate in the third quarter of the year. The BSP attributes the 0.65% inflation rate to lower global crude oil prices and weaker domestic output in the first half of the year. This report.
The year-on-year headline inflation continued to decelerate in the third quarter of 2015 at 0.6%. The less than 1% inflation is considered the lowest in the country and way below the government's target of 3%. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas attributes the low inflation to its monetary policies, which maintains the key policy rates at 4% for overnight borrowings and 6% for overnight lending. BSP also notes that higher supply and firm demand continue to maintain the inflation rate, along with the reinvigorated government spending in the second quarter that pushes the resiliency of the economic sector to grow even further.
The BSP is of the view that current monetary policy settings remain appropriate. Latest inflation forecasts show that inflation is likely to be below the target range for 2015, but it is projected to rise gradually toward the midpoint of the target band in 2016 to 2017. Pending petitions for power rate adjustments and the effects of the El Nino weather conditions on food prices and utility rates pose upside risks to the outlook.
While the domestic side has its advantages, economic prospects abroad are also getting better than they were a year before. With the American economy remain committed to up its exports and the strengthening of the European activities add more confidence to the investors to infuse more capital in the Philippines.
If you look at the supply conditions, they are generally favorable, thus supporting the benign outlook as well as the benign observation on recent inflation outturns. At the same time, we note that domestic demand conditions remain firm amidst this very benign inflation environment.
However, inflation rate in the country will slightly increase in the mid-2016 and 2017 as adverse effects of El Nino will decline in the agricultural output. Demand will continue to be firm, but the effects of the recent Typhoon Lando and the severe drought will certainly affect the prices. The BSP and the economic managers have already agreed on the importation of rice of more than 500,000 metric tons to mitigate the effects of these disasters. BSP says business confidence will remain and will certainly bring in more high-paying jobs in the country. For People's Television, Jorge Bandola.